Every pregnancy needs utmost care and attention. But certain pregnancies need a little extra attention. An RH negative mother carrying an RH positive baby is at increased risk of complications. BSV is at the forefront to ensure safe delivery in every RH negative pregnancy.
Hello and welcome to Side View, brought to you by Women's Quick Zone and presented by BSV, Puma, Food and Wellness and AMRI Hospitals. 226 is what England had to chase, but West Indies made sure that isn't a cakewalk for them. The surprise package, yet again exuding their flair to the world. What a commendable performance that was from West Indies as they registered their second win of the tournament. Beated the hosts, the defending champions. I was lucky enough to witness the reaction of Brittany today. Joining me in the show are Brittany and Julia, of course. Brittany, your first reactions.
I am super happy. I know a lot of people have count us out in this tournament before it even starts, because of our past record. But as I said, that's the past record. This is the World Cup. Cricket is played on today. And as you rightfully said, we beat the defending champions. We beat the hosts. Bring it, just bring it. We are coming Australia, we are coming India, we're coming Pakistan, we're coming back Bangladesh. Just bring it.
Bring it on. The spirits are high for Brittany out there. Julia, your first reactions. The game was all about the shift in momentum. We saw it in the first innings, the second innings as well. What a lovely game.
Yeah, it was very much. I kept thinking, oh, England on top here, and the West Indies are on top. Oh no, England are back on top. It was fantastic, and that's what I love about 50 over cricket is it just ebbs and flows so much, and there's so much that can change in a game, And the fact that they lost 3 wickets, it was very much a mirror of the West Indies innings initially. So, but just what an amazing fight! They just held their nerve a little bit better than England. They just seem to have this confidence about them at the moment with bat and with ball, where in the past, we've probably seen them just a bit loose with both and a little undisciplined. Obviously, their extras are still causing them a few problems. And, they had another 4 drop catches today. And Beaumont cost them a fair bit. The other 2 or 3 didn't really at that stage. But what a magnificent game. And, oh, my goodness, this World Cup is crazy.
World Cup is definitely getting crazy. And England and West Indies showing us some really very close games. You use the word magnificent, and that reminded me of the catch of Deandra Dottin. What is it with Deandra Dottin pulling in on stunners in each game? What a catch that was to dismiss Beaumont. Brittany.
Deandra is superb on field. She's one of the best point fielder there is in the world of cricket, not only female cricket, the world of cricket. You see, how she anticipates, you see how nice and low she stays, see how she reacts and always looking and ready for the ball. And I think that's one of the most important things when it comes to fielding. You always have to be ready and want the ball to come to you. And as you see in all in these 2 games that gone, the Andrew is always looking for the ball to come to. That catch was mind-blowing. It literally changed the game for West Indies because West Indies did not get the start they wanted. It was beyond Jaunty Rose.
Yes, and that's what even Marizan Kaap tweeted about that stunning effort from Deandra Dottin, Julia. She wrote that, love how people always speak about this one, that one being the best fielder. No, it's Deandra Dottin. It's always been her. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, I mean, Deandra Dottin, this moment actually really changed it for the West Indies, I think, because they had a couple of opportunities which they just didn't take, and it's so frustrating for bowlers and frustrating for the team. And you just need one of these moments in a game that just gets everyone back on side, back on track. And they really sort of nailed it after this. They started getting a few wickets in a row, over a period of the next 10 overs. They took another 3 wickets and really sort of made it difficult for England to start scoring. So, yeah, bravo to Deandra Dottin. What an amazing catch. And she's again inspired her team by just one moment in a game that's really got them over the line.
Brittany, of course, there was an early chance to get Tammy Beaumont out if Anisa Mohammed had dropped that catch. If that would have happened, it would have been still an even easier win for West Indies, because Tammy Beaumont then went on to play a patient knock, and it looked like maybe England are chasing that.
Me, at the end of the day, everything happens for a reason. So what if she did? She didn't take that catch, or she take the catch. It could have swing either way, but as I say, everything happened for a reason. We know how important getting Tammy early in her innings is, but unfortunately, it didn't happen. But we did get the wickets around her, and that's the kind of, I believe, is the weakness for England. There's always somebody there, but wickets keep falling around there. So it's not like say big partnership that does be forming.
What do you make of the fielding and the bowling attack of West Indies today, Julia? We saw that they had a strong offside field. Bowling wide was their plan initially. That's what they also did against Heather Knight in the opening game.
Yeah, I have to admit I'm not a huge fan of the tactics early. I just don't like the fact that they're not sort of allowing the bowlers to bowl at the stumps. And also, if they are going to bowl that wide, let's chuck a few more slips in there, because they are only going to have it outside the off stump. So, and obviously Anissa dropped that one early. I think I like the fact that Taylor brought in Hayley Matthews a lot earlier than Heather Knight did with the spin, because we knew that was going to be a key factor today, is that spin. It was great she bowled herself as well. Again, lots of extras. And I think some of those extras maybe were caused a little bit by, again, the field placements and the tactics just too wide. You've got Henry and Connell taking it away beautifully, and they're so worried about bowling it too straight and it not going away, that they just bowl too wide all the time and giving away a lot of offside wides. So to me, they should just be a little more positive, attack the stumps a little bit more, open up that cover area, and allow the batters to try and attempt to go through there and maybe take those wickets, get that edge, and take it with one or two slips and a gully in there as well.
Yes, definitely. You wanted to add something, Brittany?
Yes, I totally agree with Julia in terms of the tactics that West Indies are trying to apply. You saw against New Zealand, they tried to do the same thing of bowling the short and wide. But if you are going to bowl that line at length and you only have one slip and you bowl into a 6-3 field, don't think that really added up, because if you're looking to bowl that line, I think like for Connell, she should have been bowling for a 7-2 field right through her innings, because she's bowling on 6 stump. But here we have a mid wicket, a square, and a mid on, which really isn't adding up. But if you look at Connell in her second spell, that line and length that she was bowling is what she should have been bowling to the start of the innings.
West Indies are somehow finding the way out of the maze to win the games. They did that against New Zealand. Today they did it against the defending champions. They won the game by 7 runs. Just quickly have a look at the scorecard, how the things panned out for them today. Obviously, Lauren Winfield-Hill again departed early on. Tammy Beaumont with that patient knock, a couple of wickets there, and then came the important partnership between Danielle WYATT and Sophia Dunkley. But now, first of all, I'll come to you, Julia. Hayley Matthews gets you Heather Knight. Hayley Matthews gets you the important wicket. Siver was the centurion from the last game. She gives you Heather Knight as well. What is it with your predictions that going right all the time? Spot on. Share us the secret.
Well, I have to admit, up until now, I've been a bit dodgy, so I'm extremely happy. Keep telling me how great I am with my predictions. I don't know. It just was an easier feel once you get into a tournament. You can start really getting the feel for where people are at and how they're playing, and also grounds, what the conditions are like. We knew it was going to be turning. We knew that was going to be a big case today. A little bit of luck went the West Indies way as well, though, today. Obviously, that dismissal of Heather Knight wasn't even supposed to be a caught behind. They were looking for the stumping, so you take those when you can. Obviously, the drop catch, caught and bowled of Anissa Mohammed, and it was the run out of Kate Cross. They're always really disappointing when those things happen, and that happened with Susie Bates the other night as well in one of her games. Worst way to get out. But at the same time, I think that you can just get a different feeling about this team now. And this is why I named them as my dark horse. And I saw them when we were away in Zimbabwe last year, and I just knew that they had a different feel about them. They've still got the West Indian confidence, which we all love, but it wasn't a cockiness. It was actually a good confidence, and it means that they're all starting to compete for each other they're all understanding of what they're supposed to be doing and their roles, and they're understanding how to work as a team as opposed to just a group of really good athletes and individuals. They're actually working together much better as a team. So to me, I think Courtney Walsh has done a great job, and you can see the proof is in the pudding, obviously, the way that they're playing, the way they're putting their partnerships together, the way that Stafanie Taylor is managing the bowlers and getting them to work together in pairs as well. I think it's all clicking very, very nicely for them.
True. And also, you predicted it to be Taylor, and she gave us a important wicket as well. So, your thoughts on how her captaincy today, and also a bit about Hayley Matthews, Brittany.
I think I win on my prediction because Taylor gave us one of the most important wickets, because if Dunkley was still in the wicket with that partnership with WYATT, I think things would have turned for the worse for West Indies.
Yes, definitely. So yes, we're talking about that partnership, and then two quick wickets there. West Indies suddenly got back all the momentum. Henry taking those two catches, wasn't she incredible on the field today, Julia?
Yeah, she's a really good athlete. We've seen her do this before. I love the way she bowled today too. I was just a little surprised they didn't come back to her. She only got hit for 15 off her 4. She had some really nice shape early. I really liked the way that she was bowling. She just, again, it was just those extras that she was giving away. But to me, if she just straightened up her line, slightly changed her field, I think Henry in the field is amazing, and I think as a bowler could be really, really good as well.
West Indies has so far entertained us with all the games, both the games they've played so far. The celebration after Siver's wicket between Matthews and Shakira Salman told you what a big wicket it was. Always the West Indies believe in keeping the mood light. Just talk us through that, Brittany.
You've seen in past series that the dancers on the team is Shakira Salman and Hayley Matthews, but it just goes to show that how important that wicket was. We know what Nat Silver is capable of. We know the records he have against us, and the fact that I believe that they went out with a plan against her, and it did come out. So I know the team is going to be very happy with that. I must say, a lot of planning. I see a lot of planning going into their game now, and I'm happy that it's coming out in a positive way.
Also, a word on Sophia Dunkley's innings today, Julia. Looked impressive, good footwork out there, and then Daniel WYATT coming down the order, experience. So, if that pair would have stayed for a bit longer, it was England's game today.
Yeah, I agree. And I think, in fact, they probably got a little carried away. They were both going at such a high strike rate, and they probably didn't need to be maybe as attacking and finding those boundaries. I'm not sure if Sophia Dunkley, she's pretty early in her career as a international cricketer. We know what Danny Wyatt can do, but I just feel that they probably just got a little carried away with the high, not necessarily high risk, but shots that didn't really need to be had at that stage of the game. They'd really started to catch up. They were easily knocking around the singles, and they'd done all the hard work. And I just felt like they just kept going a little bit too long. And this also happened with Sophia Dunkley in the Ashes Test in Australia as well. She got them in such a good position and then just couldn't slow down, couldn't stop herself. So just a little bit of awareness for her. She looks like she's got great intent, and I love that about her. But I just think she just needs to have a little bit more awareness of where the game is at the time, and just sort of maybe just be a little smarter with Danny Wyatt and just slow things down a little just to get it over the line. It should have been a bit of a walk in the park. But as you said, Stafanie Taylor, good captaincy move, bring yourself on and picks up the wicket.
One thing about West Indies that stood out, Brittany, was the intent and the determination they showed on the field. They, even if they thought that that partnership of Sophie Eccleston in the end, along with Brent, would give them the game, they still sort of did not give up. They tried their best. Probably having those experienced players in your side, in Stafanie Taylor, Hayley Matthews, or Anisa Mohammed for that matter, that helps.
Yes, it does help. I think the West Indies fielding team we saw tonight compared to the West Indies fielding team we saw against New Zealand is a very much improved team. They realized the mistake that they made against New Zealand that almost cost them the game, and the fact that okay, we know the as I said, the history we have against England. Fielding is going to be very important, and I spoke about how the fielders have to help the bowlers. Bowlers can't do it all by themselves, because at the end of the day, when that bowler done bowl, that bowler become a fielder also. So it's great to see that West Indies are up in the fielding game, and we know how aggressive and attacking. And I know, as you see, how they threw the body around and you know, put that effort. And as I say, that little piece of effort could change the game. Because if you look at how Henry did it today.
Definitely. So we are having a few questions and few comments coming in from our users. So here's like the first question: did Ashes defeat is affecting England's World Cup campaign? Your views on that, Julia?
It may be a little. I think they might have a little aftershock from the, but I think they probably tried to get themselves in as good a head position and mindset as they could. You know, post leaving Australia, I saw them out playing golf and just trying to relax and let it go, because it's a completely different tournament, completely different conditions. They've only got to play Australia once. All these other teams that they've got to play, and you know, they're a good team and they're defending champions, so they had a lot going for them. So there may be a little bit of a hangover from that, but at the same time, I mean, they haven't been playing badly. Like, they scored 298 the other night, chasing 310, and then today, you know, they batted pretty well. They just had a couple of people at the top order and they had a little bit of luck go the other way. So I don't think they're playing badly. I think they're still very much in it. We saw them in 2017 lose their first game and then go on to win the title at the end of the tournament. So two losses is probably a little tougher, but they've got a really tough draw. I think they may have India next, so they've got just a really tough draw for the moment, and it sort of eases up towards the end with Pakistan and Bangladesh. But yeah, there may be a little bit of fatigue and hangover there, and I think they just need to relax. They should be, Lisa Kite will be getting them doing a lot of meditation, fun games, enjoying the cricket, seeing the positives and all the stuff that they did today, and just identifying a couple of the areas that they could do a little bit better. But they're certainly not playing poorly, just other teams are finding a way more so than they are.
Your thoughts on that, Brittany? There's a building pressure on England. They are the defending champions, already entered the contest as favourites, but then did not have a very good outing in the Ashes. So how do you look at their performance and the approach they should have in the upcoming games?
Yes, England did not perform as they want in the Ashes. You know, coming into such an important tournament, you want to be coming with some wins under their belt. As we saw in the Ashes, that England batting haven't been able to produce the runs as they want. But as Julia rightfully said, they haven't been playing hard. But just it seems like those little mistakes that they make, whether they be batting or bowling, it seems to be costing them games. So what England need to do is just go back and reflect. I know, try to go there and just try to have fun. You know, look at how important those drop catches cost England today. You know, if Dutton probably did out first ball and then Matthews after, then the game could have switched. And then obviously the bowling attack in terms of the amount of extras they are bowling. We saw in the last two games, probably England played the score. They have about at least 40 plus extras. That's not the England bowling attack we know of. The England bowling attack has been very disciplined in the extras department. So probably I wouldn't say try to adjust the conditions, because it's clearly similar to what in England. Probably just going forward, be able to change up their game plan a little more.
Yeah, definitely. But then today we saw that Heather Knight also took the charge with the ball. Was she forced to bowl today because of the lack of the spinners, considering that you had only Sophie Eccleston in your side, Julia? And that would be something you'd think about, the bowling combination of having spinners and steamers in your side. Would that be a thing England would be putting their thinking hats on for?
Yeah, absolutely. I had a quick look, and I noticed that she bowled only 13 overs in her last 12 ODIs. So, you know, there's a fair bit of pressure on her to bowl, but she did bowl really well. She could see that, you know, the spin was like a little bit of a surprise, which was a little disappointing. Although we did hear that she had been practicing her bowling. Maybe they knew that she was going to be having to bowl a few overs today, and she ended up, you know, getting none for 22 off her 7 overs. So she bowled really, really well. Extremely handy, getting them, you know, slowing down the West Indies at a time when they were really trying to accelerate. So I think that's a good thing, that she was able to come out and bowl and see that she actually was landing them and bowling in good areas, which again would probably put, I don't know if Charlie Dean would be quite so happy, because that's obviously her position that she's contending with there at the moment. But again, another a low score, even if it was off an absolute screamer, the catch of the maybe the catch of the century by Deandra Dotton for Winfield Hill. She just can't catch a trick at the moment, and she was out for 12 again today. So it'll be interesting what they do now with that opening partnership. Do they persist? Was she just unlucky, or do they look at trying to see what else they can do?
Definitely, you mentioned about Winfield Hill. Maybe you also think of giving Emma Lamb a chance probably in the upcoming games, considering that she can also be a great asset for the side. And also for the bowling, Julia, Anya Shrubsole has of course not appeared to be at her absolute best. No doubt she's an integral part of the side. But do you think, considering the importance of the tournament, someone like a Freya Davis will also get in the side?
Freya Davies will absolutely get a game at some stage. She's a quality bowler. She attacks the stumps with her technique that she's got, as well as taking the ball away. So that makes it very, very difficult for batters and teams, because they've got to keep playing at the ball, and then she takes it away. So she does create wicket-taking opportunities constantly. So I think she's a chance. And Anya Shrubsole, is a quality player, but she needs to be taking wickets because she's batting 11. She's probably a little bit of a liability in the field. And she's, I don't know, just starting to probably get a little predictable with how she's bowling. She's not very, it's difficult to bring her back in her second spell. Can't bowl at the end of an innings. So to me, I think she's starting to be a little bit of a liability for England if they want to take those early wickets. So to me, I'd love to see Freya Davies come in and get an opportunity for sure.
Your thoughts on that, Brittany? Because the heading into the game now, every match will be very important for the defending champions. What changes do you think? And also, Brent didn't bowl in the death. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I was a bit confused to see that Anya came back. I think was the 47th, 49th over or something like that. And I know normally that's where Brent come in and bowl her, her Yorkers and cutters and stuff. So I was a bit confused, is she feeling a little nigger, or are you deciding to go with Anya? Because I know Anya does bowl it in the end, but I was a bit concerned about that. But yeah, going forward, England will have to make changes. When I saw that they went with the same team, I guess with a turning wicket like the Oval, I guess that probably this time Heather is gonna bowl some overs. But going forward in terms of the opening partnership, if you look today again, even Amy Jones failed. So are they going to take that opening batter out Winfield Hill and send Jones up there and then bring in Charlie Indeed? Or are they going to send WYATT or even bring in Emma Lamb? So some hard questions for England to ask itself going forward in terms of finding the right chemistry going forward. I don't think the England 11 that played in the first two games is the right 11 right now.
Few questions for England there, and that brings me to the final question, coming to you, Julia, with it. Lisa, of course, the coach of the side, you've played with her. What do you think would be the advice she'll have for the team to up the morale and then make sure that they enter this contest, enter the other contest, the upcoming one, with their determination and spirits all high?
Well, I'd imagine she's going to give him a couple of days off. That's generally, how it works. Sometimes, you can overtrain and overthink these things. And I think you just got to stay nice and relaxed. As we've mentioned, I don't think they're doing anything horrifically wrong. They've got a little tweak they need to do at the top of their order and maybe improve their fielding with regards to catching and, that sort of side of the game. But generally, I just don't think it's that. I think they just need to maybe freshen up a little and, come out firing again, because they're a quality team. They have been performing pretty well, just haven't got over the line yet against two really good teams so far.
Well, so West Indies have won the game by 7 runs. Another win for West Indies, a surprise package as we term them as. So registering the second win, and then England, of course, has a few questions to be answered, and they'll be determined to turn the tables next time when they face the other opposition. So that's it from the post-match show. You stay tuned to Women's Cricket Zone for all the updates on women's cricket.